Hey, what's up, y'all? This video might looks a little funny on the screen to me. The lighting is odd. Got the overhead light and the map light on. I got my curtains pulled and everything. The sun's not quite down yet. I didn't want it all shining in my face, and I'm trying to keep the sun from coming in here. A little warm and humid out today, but I just noticed today I haven't messed with my TA Petro app in a few days. And I went to try and log into it to check my points and stuff. I was going to be in a situation with a parking space, and I was going to apply what points I had to a parking space. I'm not down with the paying the park most of the time, but this, if any of you have been to the TA in Commerce, Georgia, and tried to park in the back in the free spaces, that place back there is just tailor-made for getting your truck hit and for getting blocked in. This is one of the very, very few places that on a rare occasion I will pay for. And I stopped here because there's not a whole lot good left once you get past here. It was past the time where the Love's up there at the next exit was probably going to be full. And I just didn't want to deal with Atlanta today. So I was like, I'll stop here, get me one of the good paid spaces up front, because they're angled, laid out way better, way better. There's much safer up here on this front row. Tried to log in that TA app and couldn't get into it. They had like a new pathway to log into it and everything. Went to try to do that. Said, no account shows with your number or your email. So I got to digging around, and I went to their Facebook page, and they had a post from several days, a week ago, a couple of weeks ago maybe, advertising that they were simplifying the login process for it. So they were changing something. And I went and started reading the comments, and almost every single comment on there was somebody that had been now locked out of their account and couldn't get into it anymore. And I started finding mentions of it on other social media areas and stuff like that. And they had not made one reply to any comment, not made one post regarding it saying they were working on it or anything. So I guess they've ruined that app, haven't got it ironed out, and a whole bunch of people right now are just out their account and out their points and stuff like that. I don't know if it's everybody, but it seems to be quite a large sample size. And then I got to thinking, TA and Petro, back when I first started and I got in 2005, some 20 years ago. Some of you out there have been doing it for way longer than me. Some of y'all saw the true golden era of great truck stops. But when I first got in, TA and Petro were still pretty good spots in most of them, and a lot of times way more desirable than the Petros and Loves of the time. Or not Petros and Loves, but the Loves and the Pilots. And then you had Flying J before Pilot got their hands on that and just turned it into freaking Pilot Junior. But particularly the Petros, especially when I would stop at those when I first got in the game. They seemed to be, that was like the place where you'd see a lot of the owner-operators and stuff. It was like the truckers' truck stop and stuff. And I'm looking at all the ones I stop at now, with the exception of the big independent stops that have branded, that have taken them on as like the fuel vendors or whatever. You got the Whites, Petro, and Rafine, Virginia, and that TA, a few exits up back from there. And then you got, of course, at the Iowa 80 is TA branded, and you got a few good ones. There's a couple of, there's a few good ones out there that I think that are privately owned, but like Petro branded or whatever. But for the most part, all of the actual, just straight down the list, actual TA Petro owned locations have just turned to trash. I've never seen a company seem like they try so hard to run off their main customer base. They have let most of their stores just turn to crap, like I said, with the exception of the ones like the Whites and Rafine and the Iowa 80 and stuff. And those got independent owners behind them. But their corporate owned stores and locations, they've let their parking lots go. Hardly any of them have restaurants left in them. They're all starting slowly but surely putting up gates and charging parking for every parking spot. No more free ones. like the one in Cartersville, Georgia, they put those gates up, and it's like $25 to park. And they got their different ways where you can get it free. You know, if you do if you buy several hundred gallons of fuel, you can get you a free spot. Or you can go buy $30 worth of stuff inside the store to get your $25 parking space waived. That seems like a good deal, doesn't it? But their prices, like even regular travelers that aren't truckers know TAs and Petros are particularly egregious in their prices. Their coffee stinks now. A lot of locations have just let their showers go to complete crap, and a lot of the Petros, they used to have some bigger, better taken care of showers and stuff, and now everything's outdated, and they just don't give a crap. There's hardly anybody on staff in the stores anymore. Half of their pumps don't seem to ever work when you show up. Their pumps are outdated at a lot of the locations and everything. And now, I mean, I guess BP owns them now, and everybody thought that BP was going to come in and, kind of save the day with this chain. And so far, they've done nothing other than let them go downhill even further. They've opened a handful of these TA Expresses in some places, and they're okay, but they're newer, but they're still horrendously overpriced. Don't have great food choices, and then when they put fast food places in, TAs and stuff, their prices are like egregiously higher than what the same chain is outside of the TA. So you just get robbed everything you do at the TAs, and they don't care. Like with this point system thing, with their app and everything, I mean, I guess all the people that had the same problem as I did can't reserve a space if you're into the paid parking thing. Can't use your account, if you were planning on getting a shower today and you had a shower credit on there, can't log into your thing to get your shower. Can't redeem your points for anything in the store. And they've just completely not addressed it. And I guess I'm going to have to assume those are probably gone, what I had saved up and stuff on there. And the same for a lot of people. And it's like, I don't know if it's a matter of them just not giving a crap and being careless with their work. BP just hiring the cheapest developers they could to do that stuff. Or a certain part of me says, hey, did they do that on purpose? Think about all the free showers they saved just handing out. Think about all of the, money, people that apply their points to parking spaces. They're going to save that. They're going to get that back now. All the stuff in the stores that people use their points on at their stores because their stuff is so expensive. It's like, was there a little bit, did this sort of get done on purpose, to make all these points and shower credits go away? I don't know. My little conspiracy theory, corporate greed hating self thinks possibly, but I don't know. But what do y'all think about TA and Petro these days? I mean, across the board on social media, any trucker forums, on any of the social medias or Reddits or most of the reviews on like Google and stuff like that, TA and Petro just gets trashed across the board. I mean, they get destroyed in the reviews and posts and stuff like that. It seems to be in the trucker community that nobody likes them anymore. They've just, I mean, it's like they've gone out of their way to ruin their business. I don't know. Like, is BP just waiting for them to go down the toilet and so they can just shutter the company and write them off as a loss on taxes or something? I mean, like, I don't know. They've gone so far downhill. It's almost hard to believe that it's not on purpose. They are so far behind the times and just hard to believe. But did any of you guys get hit with the non-working Truck Smart app any this week? Seems like a lot of people did. Did you? I don't know. Tell me. I'd like to know if you had it happen to you too. And tell me what you think about TA and Petro these days, because they ain't it anymore. They are not it anymore. I'm going to go eat my food, get this truck cooled back off, watch a little TV, get up, drive to Louisiana tomorrow. We're going to Hammond, Louisiana. Maybe I'll pass some of you on the road on the way there. We'll see. Y'all be good. Tell me what you think. I want to hear what y'all have to say about T8 Petro and the app and all that stuff. See y'all later.